food allergies. Now I know people are like, oh, Colby, why are we talking about this? I want you to listen to what this guy just said. He's part of the global push. I want you to listen to how he words his thoughts on meat and how he can help engineer people not to actually eat meat because they're allergic. Well, how are they allergic? Listen to what he says. It will blow your mind. We're also going to talk about the food system. We're going to talk about what McDonald's McRib has in it. Now, the point of the McRib is not to make fun of the McRib. What I'm saying is that we have a broken food system, and this is going to be proof of it. What kind of junk are you putting in your body? And I know most of you have probably ate fast food this week. Please, not to feel guilty, but please quit eating this garbage. And then lastly, we're going to discuss a movement in the right direction. We see Trump get some massive wins, and then on top of that, something even bigger. Bigger than talking about America. There's a movement towards Christianity again, and it starts with the young males. What are we seeing, and why is this a good thing? Now we just need to get them finding good, wholesome women and start building families again and start a revival back in America. Let's dive into these stories and a few more. This video starts right now. Hey guys, welcome to our channel. Thank you so very much. We humbly thank you for being here. Again, remember, if you did not catch the live earlier, we did a live around 2 or 3. So check it out. Make sure that you are watching it because we talked about some of the stories we could not get to in this video. Again, thank you so much for being here. Now let's dive into the stories of the day. First, let's talk about the food system. Now, I'm going to show you this guy and what he just stated about meat and how he could help bend people away from meat. Listen to this.
Examples. So one is that people eat too much meat, right? And if they were to cut down on their consumption on meat, then they would it would actually really help the planet. But people are not willing to give up meat. Yeah, some people will be willing to, but other people, they may be willing to, but they have a weakness of will. They say, wow, this steak is just too juicy. I can't do it. I'm one of those, by the way. So, but so here's the thought, right? So it turns out that we know a lot about, we have these intolerance to, for example, I have milk intolerance. And some people are intolerant to crayfish. So possibly we can use human engineering to make it the case that we're intolerant to certain kinds of meat, to certain kinds of bovine proteins. And there's actually analogs of this in life. There's this thing called the Lone Star tick, where if it bites you, you'll become allergic to meat. I can sort of describe the mechanism. So that's something that we can do through human engineering. We can kind of possibly address really big world problems through human engineering.
Now, the importance of this is not just the fact that he could use a tick and use some kind of engineering for the meat. Think about all the foods that we've gotten. Think about how much our food is engineered. And the reason our food is engineered is because they want to make it better and wholesome and make it more prolific. I heard a farmer the other day, and again, I want to just slap him in the face, and I don't mean that rudely, but I'm just being honest. He said, my grandfather did this land, and we harvested a lot of yield. It was like, basically what he was saying was, this was like 3 times the yield. That's kind of what he was using back at that time. He said, now since we're using genetically modified seed that has been given to us by our seed providers, we're 10 times in that. So instead of 2 or 3 times that my grandfather was getting, we're getting 10 times that. Now what he was saying was the yield was more important than the nutrients. But actually when you went back and looked at the nutrients, the fact of the density of quality of some of the old heirloom non-GMO seeds compared to the GMO garbage was unbelievable. The quality was so much better when we grew our food the correct way. Now that goes to the study of what this guy was saying. When we think about peanut allergies, milk allergies, like he was talking about milk intolerance. I've told you before, and I hate to beat this drum again, but my milk, 5 days, it's bad. It can make the best quality butter. It is the creamiest milk. It is the thickest, richest, greatest quality milk. But in 5 to 7 days, it's no longer really good. It's clabbery. It's not bad tasting, but it's just chalky. Now, how do they make milk last a month? So you wonder why we have a milk intolerance. It could be the fact of all the engineering, as he was talking about. So if someone can engineer food to make us be intolerant, like I know a child at our church that cannot have meat, is that because of things that they engineered? I'm just saying, think about that. Now let's move on to the next story about the McRib. And the reason is I'm not honing on McDonald's McRib. I'm saying fast food in generality because it goes along with the story of nutrient-dense food is always going to be greater than more yield or more trash food. We're getting to a time where people don't know what real food is. Listen to this McRib. I want to read this study and just show you how crazy our food system has gotten. This is from Wall Street Apes. It says, here's the dark truth about McDonald's McRib. The fake-shaped rib that we call McRib is just a chemical experiment. Listen to this. Ever wonder why the McRib keeps disappearing and coming back? It's not because McDonald's is creating demand. It's because they look for the cheapest price pork and cuttings that they can get, and when it comes back around, boom. It's called the boomerang effect. You throw it away, but it keeps coming back. That is a boomerang. Listen to this. It's ground shoulder and trimmings. They never tell you what the trimmings are. And it's pressed into a shape, literally like a rib. The fake shape is held together, yes, with meat glue. Meat glue, this is real. The ingredients list in this chemistry and spirit. It once contained azotic carbonide used in yoga mats and shoe soles. When your sandwich shares ingredients with yoga mats and shoe soles, do you think we should be eating this? The sauce has the flavor of the high fructose corn syrup. Preservatives, those grill marks are painted on with the caramel coloring. About as authentic as a $3 bill, the McRib contains 70% more sodium than claimed and is unnaturally not really meat when you get down to it. They've been doing this so long that now the McRib has become so popular, but people always say it's mystery meat and they still eat it. It's this pink gelatinous stuff that's held together with literally chemical that they use to make yoga mats and literally flippers, shoes, like flip-flops. And you want to eat it. You know what margarine is? Is hydrogenated oil, you know? It's like a byproduct of petroleum. Do you really want this in your diet? So you wonder why we have allergic reactions to food. It's because real food is quality in the stuff that we're getting fed, because higher yields, like the farmer said, higher yields, like the guy said, changing people's thought patterns about food. It's really because we're not eating food anymore. I want to move on to two massive wins that Trump got today. There was, of course, you've seen it in the market. I imagine the market is skyrocketing. I'm filming this earlier in the day. So I imagine the market has done very well, and I projected that too, because when the tariff situation and kind of this pause with China was going to happen, I knew it was going to do well. Well, all of a sudden the pause came out, massive win for him. Also, the biggest win was the drug pricing. He's got drug pricing. He wrote an executive order today that brought drug pricing down 59 to 65%. Now, I don't know about you, but don't take pharmaceuticals, but for a lot of senior citizens and a lot of people that's on fixed incomes, your pharmaceutical bills tend to be the highest thing. So knowing that you've got a little bit cheaper price, especially when you're talking about 59% when everything else is going up, that's two massive wins for Trump. So now we see a market doing better. Also, did you see that the terror in Gaza released the Israel hostages? Trump negotiated that as well. Your gas prices are low, your eggs prices are lower, and we are literally seeing really a golden age of America. So two monster wins with the pricing going down with the pharmaceuticals, but also the fact that China and America are at the table. I knew this was going to end up being a prolonged cringe, but ultimately when it came down to it, it was going to become a successful thing for Trump. And I believe it's only going to get better. It's actually going to get better, I think, with our relationships too. I'm anxious to see what kind of negotiations actually come out of this China-USA deal. And, the future will tell. But I will say this, it's good to see our markets doing better, and it's good to see that Trump is starting to get some W's under his belt. This is a big deal. And some more good news. Did you see that AMC theaters lose $202 million thanks to lousy movies like the Disney Snow White? I think people are fed up with the politics in TV shows and movies. You know, I watch a lot of seasons because I do a lot of running and working out. So I'll turn on VidAngel, and then there'll be some seasons from Netflix or seasons from Amazon Prime or seasons from wherever, CBS, whatever it may be. But then they start getting so political, I just turn them off. It's not worth it anymore because I don't want indoctrination. I just want to enjoy Blue Bloods, or I want to enjoy CSI, or I want to enjoy whatever it may be. I don't need your indoctrination on it. And I think people are waking up to that, like Snow White. I think everybody wanted Snow White to be a good hit because of nostalgia, things we've watched in the past, and all the remakes have been so good so far. But when you have someone who's coming out pushing political propaganda, changing the narratives, and of course the main actor was making it look like she was a victim, it made people not want to watch. So I love to see that people are actually kind of really voting with their money more than they are worried about what the presidency is or worried about their congressman is. I love to see people are saying, you know what, I'm just not going to go and put myself in this situation. It's kind of like the situation where King of Kings, that movie that came out with kind of Christian-based movie, it's done phenomenally well. It's overachieved. Homestead, overachieved. The Cost of Freedom, overachieved. Why? Because people are wanting something different. And so I think this is what makes this so nice. Now that goes right into kind of the main story I want to talk about today. And really the last story, but I want it to be very important for us to go through. There's a new story from Breitbart that says young Christian men are going to be the resilience when it comes to the Christian movement in America. Christianity has been deteriorating for a long time in America. But they said there is a movement. And it's not the middle America. It's not the millennials. It's not the older Americans. It's not the boomers. It's not the pastors. It's the young Christian men. I think of my son. My son is a stalwart when it comes to understanding the Bible. Now, does that make him some special kid? No. Well, to me, he's special. But what I'm saying is, we've taught him. He's learned. He's wanted something different. The thing about this generation that's coming up is they're no longer going to fake it anymore. It's either going to believe in it or not. They've seen the way of the world and it's kind of fallen by the wayside with the last few generations. They've seen how Christianity was blossoming years ago, and now I believe they want to turn back to it. So with the renaissance of the Christian movement coming back, hopefully with Christian men, the kicker is we need to find Christian mates for them. Remember yesterday's study that I told you that most men and women, especially women, were not wanting to have children. They wanted a home. They wanted a companionship. They wanted a six-figure income. All the while, men are coming up and saying they don't need college. They want based values and morals. They want a wife that supports them, and they want children. It's amazing how all the things the world can give you, and when it comes down to it, these young men just want a family. These young men just want Christian values. These young men just want to worship God. I think there's something so organic and special about that. Because what the world teaches us is this is our God now. What the world teaches us is money is our God now. And what these young individuals, these young men, they said from 16 to 25 is literally changing the world. And they're starting with America. Now, is that good because we see a renaissance when it comes to Trump and things going good in America? Yes. But America's problem is we don't need to put our faith and hope in men. We need to put our faith and hope in God and let God use these men perfect. It's not about a pope. It's not even about our president. It's about these men serving the one true God. And here's the kicker. What a lot of things are what is happening though is a lot of women are going to college trying to be independent. And what it's done is it's actually making more of the women independent but liberal. And that's why I think they're pushing for, no marriages, no children, six-figure incomes. Is that really what we want? Is that really what they truly want? If you go on TikTok right now, it's viral. I don't watch TikTok. I don't even have TikTok on my phone. But if you go on TikTok, there's a lot of women that is upset after they have children. They have to go back to work because this life that they quote-unquote wanted and all the money that they spent to have this life, and now they're in debt up their eyeballs, so they have to leave their child and go back to work. And they're upset about it. You know why? Because it was never meant to be that way. Now, no offense to any ladies watching this. What I'm trying to say, though, is if we get back to morals, values, living on a budget, understanding what true family-oriented life is, I believe drastic changes would come to us and golden ages would start back and people could care less about the Mercedes or the BMW that they're driving or the 6,000 square foot home that they have or how much money they have in the wallet. What really matters is their walk with Christ, their love for their wife and their husband, the love for their children, health, and living organically and living healthy. You know why we grow all this food? Because the first two stories about allergies and about all this trash in our diet. We want better. You know why we try to be so tight on our budgets? Sometimes we don't have to be, but we are because We know it's for the best. What are we doing though? We're teaching our children. So my son is in that age group. He sees value in that. You know, we're going to build him a small home on the property. He sees the value in raising food. He sees the value of his high school sweetheart. He sees the value of, he bought my wife roses yesterday. He buys my wife chocolates all the time because he sees me doing it. Why does he do that? Is that to build him up? No. What I'm trying to say is, though, if we build our families up and we start raising our families correctly, all the other stuff will come organically, and then it all of a sudden just happens. People realize that morals and values are way more important than this liberal ideology. So I love this. I love this encouragement that Breitbart said that young men are coming back to Christ. You want an awakening and revival in America, and you want the world to actually change. The only way it's going to change is not by good leaders. That's good. It's not by big homes. That's good. It's not by balanced budgets. That's all good. It's about living for Christ and having morals and values and understanding the importance of why God put us here. The whole purpose of this channel is to hopefully prepare you to hopefully see the things in this world that's going on, goods and bads, so you can be ready, prepare your family, and live the best life you can. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on today's video. Not a long one today, but I just wanted to get these few stories out, a few good wins. And I'm telling you, this is how we can change America. One person at a time, doing something different, and going back to the things that's done so well for so long. Why do we put our hope and faith in people like Bill Gates or this global push and like this guy on the first about this allergy stuff? It's time to put our faith back in the things that matter. Our, God, of course, and Jesus. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you watching each and every day. And again, if you are new, please subscribe to the channel. Remember, be there for your family. Don't feed them trash food. Don't put them in school systems and indoctrinate them. You be the parent you're supposed to be, and I promise you all the rest will work out. In a fallen world, there's still shining lights. You be the shining light. God bless.